1 or 1/4 actually of Amanda's desk.
Was that Dr. Loki speaking?
Yeah. I can't remember the exact name of it, but it could be. It's really cool.
All right, we're live.
We're live?
Yes.
Cool.
At least on here, but.
How's the camera angle?
Perfect. It's right on here.
Okay. If someone decides to take a seat, we can move the camera.
It's still there.
Oh, okay.
It's like you're right on. But
And you're able to hear?
I can't find you on here.
Oh, well, let me help you with that then.
I got 10 seconds. Sue.
How do they find the YouTube live feed?
You look up the UMW Learning Center Live is what you want. So.
You're kidding me.
Okay, go to home.
Oh, no.
Hello.
We're perfect on the audio.
Perfect.
A little bit behind, but perfect.
Well, they should be better out in front of it. Is it? Cool. Also, quick test. Does this mess it up? It is. I'm just gonna scoot that even further back. Okay. I don't know if we actually need this.
Are you reading to it?
No. As long as people can hear. This is low battery anyway, so if you feel like you need the mic, we have the mic here.
More
So.
for aesthetic.
Exactly. If you want the aesthetic, something to hold on to, grip tightly. You know. Exactly. So, hello and welcome everyone to Twisted Ink's second poetry night of the 2022-2023 school year. Woo! We have a great turnout tonight. Fantastic, and I think we're looking to get more people. Pizza is on the way, so in case you're hungry and want food, that's incoming. They had a little bit of a delay in that, so we're getting some free pizza as a result. Yeah. But yeah, to start things out tonight, we have the 8,000 sign-up sheet for anyone who wants to get in on the raffle and get some Bulldog points for attending. This is awesome. There's a $20 Amazon gift card in the raffle. If you decide to read tonight and want in on more raffle, we've got other gift cards for Amazon in the raffle for this. And you can sign up for this. And then if you want an original piece of yours featured in this year's literary journal that we're going to try and get published this year, go ahead and indicate that you want to here, and I will badger you by email until we get that done. So other than that, that's pretty much it. I'll start things off tonight with the Poetry Center's Poem of the Day, or Poetry Foundation's Poem of the Day, since that's what I did last time, and I think that's a decent way to start things out, kind of break the ice. So, this is the poem of the day, according to the Poetry Foundation, is Palestine by Navakanta Barua. We housed them in prisons, for they wanted a home. We killed them, for they wanted eternal life. They bulldozed their prisons into fields of corn. What's that hand sticking out from the earth? Other hands will sprout from it and tickle us to death. So, ooh, Palestine.
Love it.
Yeah. Yeah, finger snapping. There you go. All right. Is there someone who'd like to take the second poem of the night?
I mean, that presented to my phone just perfectly.
Heck yeah.
Should we sign up? Is this a moment to sign up?
Yes. If you, I stuck the pen in my pocket.
Very good.
It's right
There.
Okay. I got another pen in my pocket.
Do you want to take the papers with you? Sure.
Oh yeah, we can put them on that table over there, so people don't have to come all the way up. Yes.
Hello, my name is Samantha Gray. This is an original poem that I had from First Block. during a very stressful time called Lit Crit, when I was learning so many new criticisms about literature, but it also was during a time when I was going through some very stressful things. This poem does not have a title, but it was during a time of metamorphosis, so for right now it will just be considered metamorphosis. I am trapped in dark silk of my own making, so dark and suffocating, feeling its grasping at the breaths residing deep within my lungs. My screams and pleas are silenced by my cylinder of silk, hearing all the people outside saying it's for my own good, knowing it's not white lie, no white lie. Tearing, clawing, and even chewing does nothing to budge my prison. Soon it grows too tight to move. I will die here, and only my tears will mourn me. Cracking as loud as smashing ice resonates throughout the air, free at last from the ever-encompassing pressure. And that's all I got for you.
Thank you, Sam.
Thank you.
Excellent metamorphosis poem. We don't have another. Oh. Scarlett, were you just volunteering?
I am.
Sweet.
I have two poems that I wrote here, and I did them for a class, but I wrote them based off the annotation I did, sort of to try and turn a poem into an annotation into a poem.
There you go.
The first one I have is called In the Space Between 289 and 299, the page numbers of the citation. Springer, springing, spring has sprung. Carol, carolin, songs have sung. It's the textual geography. Inexplicable, inadmissible, cities are invisible. Current, contemporary, fuck it, modern. The study of language. 15/4 volumes and more. Day, month, the year, 1985.
Fantastic.
The other poem I wrote was less of a line-by-line version of the citation and just an interpretation of the citation, I guess. The title is Amphigastra, which I used as the meaning above, but apparently it's really a term in biology. And it's an anagram of the author's name. Once there was a man who spoke of invisible cities. Once there was a Khan of an empire so vast, no man dared trespass. And yet that man stood before the Khan and spoke of stones. But what use are those to a kingdom of bones? All arches would collapse, said the man, if one forgot the stones supporting them. Better to watch and distaste than have bones rot faster than replaced. Khan could not see past his own shadow, focused on grandeur, disregarding the decay, dismantling, pervading every path. Must I state it so explicitly? Khans, gods, planets, victims of time, chronology.
Thank you, Scarlett.
Thank you.
I'll go next.
Excellent. A brave soul to the slaughter. No.
Hi, everybody. My name's Lane Cooney. This is a poem I wrote for my class just the other day. I wouldn't say I'm much of a poet, so we're going to give it a shot. All right. It's called Life of a College Student. Popcorn popping, fire alarms never stopping. RAs talking about the fake alarm, smoke never rising. Long line of waiting, calf food never busting, mid-coffee dripping, emptied stomachs crying. Crusty bathrooms, hairs in the shower, toenails in the sink, used razors on the counter. 3-hour classes, skipping class, don't know if I'll even pass. Student loans wasting, mini fridges empty, trash bags full, beer cans lying on the floor, laundry never folded, mom and dad won't stop calling. They can never know. Tom's in the hallway. SCD is passed around.
Very true to the
And you
experience.
said you were in a poem.
Yeah. Oh, Moon.
Okay, so I actually have 3. So okay. So I stutter really bad, to just give you a fair warning. So there's that. And my name is Moon. So the first one is called Skinwalker, and it's about skinwalkers. So the beast of possession is taught in Navajo culture, but you may not know the story. You hear a scream, a child, an old lady, a woman, a man. Their screams are loud and helpless. These screams mimic its last prey. The fainter the scream, the closer it is. You run to the howls of help. You run and run. You hear rustling and sticks snapping. A long-armed shadow peeks around the trees. It smells your possessible body and soul. Out of the corner of your eye, you see the figure, head of a wolf, horns of an elk, claws of an eagle, and covered in fur. Yet it still remains a human. Yet it still resembles a human. Your heart sinks, and your chest gets heavy. You can feel a million eyes watching your every move. Your hands start dripping sweat, and the smell of blood and death starts surrounding you. So you run and run. It feels like it's getting closer. You trip on a rock, scraping your knee. The figure pins you down. You scream as loud as you can, begging for help. No one can hear you. No one can help. The last thing you see is the feast fang-filled mouth. It uses your final screams to lure an other innocent soul. Be careful, the skinwalker might get you too. Alright, so the second one is titled It's Never Your Time to Go, and it's based off of this image from the gallery. If I can actually get it. Okay, right. If you can see it, it's the 2 cars that are kind of like crashed into each other, and it's in the gallery. And we had this for an assignment. So, fast, fun, final. Light-headed leaders and lighters flash. Beer bubbles and blurred vision. One blue, one brown. Bright lights beaming. Gin and gasoline gone. Serve and then swerve. Cruise, crash, crushed. Smirnoff, sober elections, and sobbing elders. Ashes and embers fly, and ambulances ring. Death in detail. Death in a detail, yeah. Like car detail. Right. And then the last one is The Place I Am From. This one was also an assignment. It was about either the place you grew up or something. I can't completely remember, but it was like the place you grew up and things that were around you, whether that was family or just the town itself. So I come from summer camping and winter hunting, from a place where deers use crosswalks and birds play chicken, a place where there is hanging hide, live, laugh, love crosses, and old rusty kitchen utensils, where chicken noodle soup warms your chest with turkey and stuffing on the table. You don't make fun of the fat kid, Mr. Doughboy. This place has forest Christmas trees with a special angel that always gets the best spot, the top. This place is a place of love, light, and laughter, a place of patience, peace, and plentiful. I'm from a place of pain, curses, and misery, a little boy who loses his mother, but not mine, a father who loses his daughter, burnt to crisp, another little boy who got hit to the floor, yet never saw the demon within his father, a little girl who saw this demon, then it consumed her too. The little kid saw this also, but they were already too far gone. It came from a place of wasting $600,000 on useless machines that play on chance. from where white powder passes down to crystal and herb. I'm from. She may have shot herself and she didn't make it. I'm from a place of pain, curses, and misery. I am from you didn't do it. I'm so proud of you. Look how far you've come. I'm from my home. I didn't expect to cry on that one.
Oh, totally understand.
I'm going to be reading at least two of my favorite poems. I'll start with the one in Pillow Thoughts from Courtney Pepperneal. And I think I just need to get in there. And this one doesn't have a title in it, so I'll just start reading it real quick. So, the person you are now may not be the person you are in 5 years. Despite the mistakes and the second guessing yourself and the dreams you have of better days, these moments don't define you. Life is always changing, always moving forward when you have faith in yourself. You have light. Hope is always found in light. So that's the first one. And then the last one that I'm going to read is from Milk and Honey from Rupi Kaur. I think that's how you at least pronounce it, but I'm not too sure. And I just need it right. And this one is to all you poets. Your art is not about how many people like your work. Your art is about if your heart likes your work. If your soul likes your work, it's about how honest you are with yourself. And you must never trade honesty for relatability.
Well, I kind of to get things. I've got a couple. I've got a few pieces picked out in work by former professor here, Alan Weltzing. Yeah. I never had him as a professor, so. But he does a lot of his poetry features wilderness landscapes and very descriptive scenery. So this one is part one of the Death Valley sextant named Moonburst. Thick mats of stars pummel our heads, stir our deep desire for the night sky. Ancient solace, we face east at the Furnace Creek, oasis in Death Valley, an official dark park. No student has witnessed such a stellar show with the Milky Way, a wide blanket draped across the middle. Well before the waning winter moon breaks the crest of the funeral mountains, trumpets blow a fanfare. Widening rays of moonlight, a radial bouquet sunburst. Oh, baroque sunburst, sorry. Splay the sky from south to north, eclipse the way and announce the moon. Overhead, a pair of beacons cloud, ripple like sand dunes at Mesquite Wells. Quicken, bright light, and the moon, after the long drum roll, lifts swiftly off a notch in the black ridge. Anticlimax following the laser show that sweeps the sky and hushes us. We gape, rapt witnesses pulled like a tide to the luminous plate. Siren mirror with craters and seas bearing Latin names that pool our longing and light our way. Which anyone who has listened to previous poems of mine would know. Of course I love a poem about the moon. We got any other? Oh, you guys got stuff to read? Yeah, Johnny, join us.
All right. So you said this microphone was for show. Heck, I got a brick wall and a microphone. Should be stand-up comedy. Okay, so as an English major, but I've always loved words, and I'm going to do 2 poems by a great Montana poet, Wallace McCrae. The first one I learned when I was young, and as an English major, I just appreciate it all the more. But I taught my good dog, Maggie, to lay down when I commanded. I also taught her set whenever I demanded. I'll teach her now to speak, said I. She labored to comply, but when she learned to speak, she said, you twit, it's sit and lie. And I'll just do one more for you guys, but this is, I had it memorized at one point, but let's see how far I can get. Bridget, do you have the lines to feed to me?
No, buddy, just give
Come
it a
on,
shot.
you'll help me when I fail. Also by Wallace McCrae. What does reincarnation mean? An old cowpoke asked his friend. His pal replied, it happens when your life has reached its end. They comb your hair and wash your neck and clean your fingernails and lay you in a padded box away from life's travails. The box in you goes in a hole that's been dug in the ground. Reincarnation starts in when you're planted neath a mound. Them clods melt down just like your box and you who is inside. And then you're just beginning on your transformation ride. Oops. What was that?
Goes in a hole.
The box in you goes in a hole that's been dug. I said that.
Okay. Never mind.
Oh man, we're just beginning on this transformation ride. Come on, internet, help me out.
Yep.
Let's see. Yep. Someday the grass will grow upon your rendered mound, until someday upon your grave a lonely flower is found. Now say a house should wander by and graze upon this flower that once was you, but has now become his vegetative bower. The posy that the horse done ate up with his other feed feeds bone and fat and muscle, essential to the steed. But some is left that he can't use, and so it passes through and finally lays upon the ground this thing that once was you. Now suppose I should wander by and see this on the ground, and I ponders and I wonders at this object that I have found. I thinks of reincarnation, of life and death and such. I come away concluding, Slim, you ain't changed all that much. Thank you.
I thought I'd do a couple poems too, one original and maybe one by another Montana poet. So I'll do the one by Paul Zarzyski first. This is One Sweet Evening Just This Year. Sundown rolling up its softest nap of autumn light over the foothills. Grass bales stacked 2 tiers above the '69 Ford cab. Our long-toothed shadow slices east. Mud flaps dragging dry gumbo ruts back home after 1 beer at the Buckhorn Bar quench the best thirst I've worked up all millennium. Pool balls clacking above the solemn cowmen reminiscing their scripture, waxing poetic lines to the legend of boastful Bill. One sweet morning, long ago, the hands-down favorite. I'll bet this whole load, that old bard, Charles Badger Clark, knew the eternal bent of those words the instant he scratched them across the open range of the blank page. Glacial melt, runneling over mountain rock. Moist air swirls in the cab, stirring up 3 decades of Montana essences atomized into a single mist. This horse, cow, dog grit, gunpowder, drought, leather, sage, sweat, smoke, loss, whiskey, romance, song, fragrance, all settling upon the porous inner wrist of dusk, unfolding for only a moment, its sweet, unique blossom and me. Tonight, I'm the lucky one along for the ride. Head still sweaty beneath my hat, a harlequin glitter of hayseed sticking to my bare arm, stretched straight out the window for no reason, but to know my own pores rising beneath hair pressed flat and flowing like grass in crick bend shallows. Timothy in the side mirror, stems hanging on with one arm and waving wild with the other, to rolling meadows and golden prairie flecked with cattle, antelope, jackrabbit, grouse, all grazing beneath one big gray kite of bunched starlings, acrobatic flashings over stubble. We mosey home. Me in the old truck, in love with our jag of good Montana grass. Not a speck of simplistic myth between us and the West that was, sometimes still is, and thus will be forever and ever. Amen. And I wanted to do a little original poem of mine that I've called A Cemetery in Southwest Montana. And I was inspired by that lovely Point of Rock cemetery on the other side of Beaverhead Rock. And this is actually the first poem that I got published, so it's pretty special to me. Souls whisper their welcome, kindly, softly, as you pass underneath the lovely, lofty spruce boughs, braided together by time, memories dancing amid shafts of light that sift through the branches and between the trunks lining your path like humble, hushed monks. But they alone are silent, for the air is filled with nature's chorus and the sounds of the hills, the wind in duet with yet uncut grass. Chickadees chatter happy hymns as you pass. A solemn note is added by the cry of an eagle as you move down the hall of the great spruce cathedral. Some churches take hundreds of years to complete, and thousands of lives devoted to the feet. But these trees too have taken an epoch to grow, and the care of generations and irrigation flow to somehow sustain this temple of conifer on an otherwise parched hillside, bereft of any cover. And now, within the towering walls of evergreen, is a basilica lined with lilacs, looking nearly Florentine, that needs no mosaics or frescoes as it looks over the valley. Range grasses and wildflowers adorn all the alleys that run between markers of miners and ranchers. This valley's history rooted deep in these ancestors. And as St. Peter was laid under Vatican stones, the roots of old trees cover their bones. And just as church steeples draw the spirit aloft, so do these trees, I've often thought. And when my turn comes, there'll be nothing more regal than crossing the threshold of the great spruce cathedral. Thank you, guys.
Wonderful. Jet, you got anything you want to do? No? Okay. I got. Ooh. Oh, you have something you want to?
I did, because Laura actually reminded me I had it.
Come on up.
So it'll be the last piece I read, though,
Okay.
before I have to. So I did this a while back. It's called The Villain's Plight. You remember this? Why must I be cast eternally as one such as the villain, forever to remain under the sword of those favored by the light? Does not the world know I too am one of its innocent children? Is it truly my hands that have caused the death of trillions? Or perhaps it was the lack of the supposed hero's might? Why must I be cast eternally as one such as the villain? Oceans of blood overflow from both sides. I'm drowning from swimming. The light does not see the perils of the world. They only wish to bring an end to the villainous parasite. Does not the world know I too am one of its innocent children? I remember before all was foreshadowing of evil befell me. I was a good Samaritan. Many a person who I helped would compare me to a loyal knight. Why must I be cast eternally as one such as the villain? But all was for naught. It was all an illusion. So easy and so fast was the world to cast me out in their fear of me that I had no choice but to take flight. Does not the world know I too am one of its innocent children? Very well, light dwellers, no more shall I dwell in my glass pavilion. You all wanted a shadow of blight. Now that fate has but no choice but to cast me as the greatest evil, the world shunned this once innocent child, and now the world must watch as they turn the world to ash from this new villain.
Awesome. Aha. All right. I got a piece I wrote for the Block 4 writing theme for Twisted Ink, which was home and home things related. So, and you might anyone in our current class might recognize the title because it was a line very poignant to me. A place to die privately, but not alone. Home is a place for the heart to live heartily, surrounded by family and friends. Joy is the feel made by comforting company and stirred by passion sensation. Yet in reflection, a heart can grow tired of company, kindness, and kin, and passions sting the stagnant thought as concern stifles the joy. Then I pursue a place to die privately, but not alone. You got one you want to read, Laura?
I'll see if I can find it real quick.
Sweet.
While I Google this poem, I'll tell you about it. It's by one of my favorite modernist poets, Elizabeth Bishop. She wrote this while she lived in Brazil. It sounds like it's a funny poem, but like everything that I like, sorry everybody in my class, it is not a funny poem. I know, it's very surprising. Let's see, is this the right one? Yes. It's called Pink Dog, about a dog that she saw in Brazil covered in scabies. Pink Dog. The sun is blazing and the sky is blue. Umbrellas clothe the beach in every hue. Naked, you trot across the avenue. Oh, never have I seen a dog so bare, naked and pink without a single hair. Startled, the passerby draw back and stare. Of course, they're mortally afraid of rabies. You are not mad. You have a case of scabies. But look, intelligent, where are your babies? A nursing mother by those hanging teats. In that slum, have you hidden them, poor bitch, while you go begging, living by your wits? Didn't you know it's been in all the papers? And to solve the problem, how they deal with beggars, they take and throw them in the tidal rivers. Yes, idiots, paralytics, and parasites go bobbing in the ebbing sewage, nights, out in the suburbs where there are no lights. They do this to anyone who begs, drugged or drunk or sober, with or without legs. But what do they do to sick four-legged dogs? In the cafes and on the sidewalk corners, the joke is going round that all the beggars who can afford them now wear life preservers. In your condition, you would not be able even to float, much less to dog paddle. Now, look, the practical, the sensible solution is to wear a Fantasia. Tonight, you simply can't afford to be an eyesore. But no one will ever see a dog in mascara this time of year. Ash Wednesday will come, but Carnival is here. What sambas can you dance? What will you wear? They say that Carnival's degenerating. Radios, Americans, or something have ruined it completely. They're just taking. Carnival is always wonderful. A depilated dog would not look so well. Dress up, and dance at Carnival.
Oof. Yeah, scabies. That's a description. So this is another one from Alan, Dr. Allen. Fire and flood. In our new norm, moisture withdraws underground. Desiccated branches limp, cured grasses curl. Dirt cracks, cambium slows, ladder fuels, bunch, lean, invite lightning. Jags and flames rise up and down slope, mock our boundaries as they push their own. And smoke clouds rise and writhe down drainages, over divides, then collect, settle, over valleys where towns and cities spread, trapped beneath heavy, acrid haze. Weeks pass, sight lines smudge and thick, smoke blankets swirls in lungs. Mountains disappear, familiar worlds eclipsed by blanched smog bitter on tongue. True blue, sky in fleeting patches overhead. Dry thoughts in a burned season that never ends. One time, zone and several degrees south, wheeling Harvey heats in the hot gulf, saunters ashore, hang around for days and rain falls in sheets. Biblical deluge, 40 days in 5, which drowns flat land, swells bayous and rivers so rugs rot, mold flowers in drywall, and tens of thousands dry out after feet of downpour, billions in damage, endless mud, swamp thoughts in a sodden season. In our new norm, no rain for months or months of rain in days. In Montana, big smoke country, we flounder through diffuse, sour fog, a toxic airborne event marked by red sun, orange moon, crisp air of fleeting memory, as weeks blur, smoke and ash drops like rain, like Irma in Florida. Yeah. There are a number of poems here that Jonah left. For those who might be interested in reading something else that they, if you didn't have a piece picked out and you want it on the drawing we have over there, we've got some pieces here. I've got this book here. But while we wait for the pizza, I suppose we can mingle until someone's got something they want to read. So. Woo! Yeah, and you can kill the live stream. Thank you.
We grew up watching Word Girl a lot, the little PBS kids. Thank you. And I think of Violet, and she was like, the 3 P